If you don't know what's happened here in the United States, or in the state of Minnesota, it's not happening all over the United States, but it is happening in Minnesota. Earlier this week, like since the last time we talked, the temperatures were in nearly 70 degrees here in Minnesota. And today, you go outside and it's like 32, and there's snow on the ground, 6 inches in some places. It started snowing yesterday. And I have been told by all people who care for me not to be a curmudgeon about this, but you know what? I'm not giving in to their pressure.
Oh, come on, Doug.
Because people who appreciate the snow and get up in the mornings and look out their window and say, "Look how beautiful it is."
Yeah.
They're like vampires that love death.
Oh, really?
They're like Edward, who just says, "Death is such a beautiful thing. Embrace it."
Yeah.
And no, you know what I want to do? I want to resist. I want to resist death falling from the sky. And when it happens, I just want to be one voice of reason, just one man crying out in the wilderness.
Oh my!
Saying it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
Huh? So I know that I'm called a curmudgeon.
I think if you live in Minnesota, it does have to be this way.
Okay, and this is the other thing that I get, and I got it from the natural health coach this morning.
Uh-oh.
She writes in public where I was, bemoaning the vampire nature of people who love snow.
Yeah.
And people who play in it,
they're
like children of funeral directors. It's like growing up in a funeral home, and you're just like, I don't know, death doesn't bother me. Let's play around the caskets.
Play the kickball in the embalming room.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I look out in the yard yesterday, and there's these little kids out there just being indoctrinated into playing in death.
Oh, you got to give into it, man. You got to embrace it.
I know. That's what my wife wrote. She wrote, if you're going to live in this state, then you don't have a right to complain about it. That's unreasonable. I mean, only snow is what, 10? Glenn, we were trying to come up with this information this morning. How many times a year do we get snowfall in Minnesota? Do you know?
That's a good question, but I mean, a significant one that you'd really have to shovel and, muck your way through it and stuff like that.
What, 10, 12, 15 maybe?
No, I'm thinking maybe 10 or 12.
Yeah, 10 or 12. We're talking less than 3% of the days in Minnesota does it snow. So it's not like it snows every day. I've grown up in this state. It's not like every day. 97% of the days, it doesn't snow. When it snows, let's all just take a deep breath and say, well, you got to live in a world where some things aren't the way you want them to be. It's basically every time it snows, cripes, come on, you got to be kidding me. Not, look how beautiful it is, I can't wait to go play.
In the lower part of the states, it's an average of 36 inches of precipitation per year, and in the upper part of the states, it's 70.
70. So you go from 30 to 70 inches, happens 10 or 12 times a year, and we should just recognize that for what it is, a failure of summer. Winter is just the failure of summer.
If it only would have tried harder.
If summer had just been given a chance.
Yeah, but at least we are in Minneapolis and not like in a Dakota or something. That makes it a little bit easier.
Well, speaking of that, of Dakotas, I am going to be traveling this week, tonight, in fact, over to South Dakota.
Pray tell.
Over to Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Never heard of it.
Which I don't know if they're onto it, but maybe they should change the name of that state because it seems to be sort of an Indian reference.
Yes.
I thought we were getting rid of all those little things in the
maybe
sports and all. But anyway, Sioux Falls is a beautiful city, the nation's most livable city. Top 1, top 2, top 3 every year in the reports.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm going there tonight. So if anybody listens live here and you're going to be in Sioux Falls also, got a social media training going on tomorrow and then an event for Church in the Inventive Age, the book that I've written, the best-selling book.
Yeah.
A bestseller. Going to be talking about that book tomorrow night in Sioux Falls.
Monday night.
And I don't know what to do because yesterday when the snow fell...
Where's that at?
It's at Sioux Falls Seminary and then at a Caribou in Sioux Falls. I don't know where. But if you go onto the Facebook... and you look up my name or Church in the Inventive Age or Sioux Falls, or go to the Doug Pagitt Radio.
So when I think of one of the Dakotas, Facebook. I think of like an actual caribou.
Yes, that is true. That could fool someone that I'm like meeting over at the Caribou.
Right.
No, at a Caribou Coffee.
Oh.
I'll be having an event at the coffee place. Kind of a big deal for them, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're willing to have an event there.
And have a best-selling author come and hawk his book.
And here's what I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have, if I should be wearing my black hat. Because yesterday, when the snow fell and death rained from the skies, I went to the closet, as I always do, and pulled out my black little wool cap that I have on.
Right.
And I wear it in the way that Johnny Cash always wore black because there were some men who weren't free.
That's right.
So all winter long, I like to wear my little black cap in honor of the death of summer.
Yeah. Well, I wear a lot of black. Not today, but maybe I'm going to start stealing that line.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's and I get teased a little bit because it's a little bit of a poet's cap, right? It's got the little front bill on it.
Yeah.
I bought it actually a couple of winters ago when I shaved my head bald, and my wife came home, saw me with no hair on my head.
And went out and bought you that hat.
Oh no! She screamed, she cried, and she sent me out to buy a hat and told me not to come back until my head was covered.
Wow.
Yeah. She won't want to talk about that, by the way. And just so gentlemen, let me just tell you, if it ever strikes you on some cold winter afternoon, and you're sitting there and you see people, you think, "Oh, that's a good-looking bald man."
Yeah.
I think I'd look pretty good bald.
Yeah.
No, it's probably not true. Let me
Okay.
just tell you, if you're not already bald,
Yeah.
you probably aren't going to look any better
There's
bald.
no way that I'm going to bring that up when she gets in here.
No, I wouldn't bring that up because I think you're in nothing but trouble. But anyway, I don't know if I should wear my cap. Because it didn't snow there. See, here's the, like, I don't think it snowed in South Dakota. We got this little band of trouble that sort of came rolling our way. Well, we're going to talk about a number of things here on the program today. We're going to have the natural health coach. We're going to talk a little bit about those of you who think differently about ideas in this world and how difficult it can be. And I want to give a little pep talk. I want to give a little encouragement that it's okay to not only think differently, it's okay to express some differences.
Go team.
I want to give that little shout out.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to try to encourage those of you who are religious people and don't think that the religious story, as you've been telling it, is the only way you want to tell it. And you want to say something new. You want to break from the norm. You want to insert another idea into the conversation.
Cut loose.
That I just want to encourage you to live through all of the messages that tell you not to do such a thing. I mean, we live in a world that punishes the religious for thinking differently. I mean, the religious system punishes the religious for thinking differently. It's almost enough to make a lot of us want to just give up on the whole thing because we want to be free thinkers. And I want to encourage us that that's not new. That's been going on all along.
Yeah.
That's been a part of the package from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage you about that. I'm sure the natural health coach is going to come in and give us some great information about that. And then we just have a Cripes come on. You got to be kidding me. We're out of here. I mean, the desecration that leads to abomination has brought us 1 hour today.
The show is really half over already.
Sure. This American Life, they can do a great show in an hour and it feels like enough. Sure, Krista Tippett can do something in an hour.
Yeah.
Sure, the good folks over at Radio Lab, they can do their thing in an hour. But around here, an hour just doesn't seem like enough.
No.
At least to us. I wonder if the listeners are saying, like, boy, you know what? It's kind of much better in an hour format.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. No. Can't be true.
I refuse to believe that.
All right, we're going to be back, and we're going to be back with the with the sidekick co-producer,
yes,
with the new guy, and with your radio host here on AM 950, the voice of Minnesota, with a little religious radio. It's not quite right. Find it all over DougPadgerRadio.com.